What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP. And we're here to talk about cards just like every other week. The reason we're here today, though, is we're going to tell you the 5 reasons you should be collecting non-sports cards. If you're not doing it, you're doing it all wrong. And we're going to give you 5 reasons for it. Why don't I just read all 5 off and we'll call it a video? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about it because we like to.
We don't get ads. We need ad revenue. What are we talking about here? Yeah,
revenue.
let's stretch this bad boy out.
Okay, number 1 is just the sheer variety of non-sports. If you're interested in something, there very well may be a card set for it. If it's a movie, if it's maybe some kind of music, maybe a comic book, maybe some kind of futuristic, like outer space kind of thingy. I don't know. There's probably a card out there for you. But I mean, this is the cool part. Whatever it is, there's probably a card set. And if you already like it, you're going to like buying the cards, right? Am I wrong here?
You're 100% right. And when we were coming up for ideas for this top 5, I didn't say it as eloquently as you did. I said lid for every pot, ass for every saddle. I mean, there is something for everyone out there. And you know, if they don't make the very specific IP that you watch, I mean, just hold on. They might. I mean, Rittenhouse does some weird stuff. We did a Cheers break. Cheers ended in what, 1990 something, like early 90s. Like there was a Cheers set. They're doing Upper Deck's doing a set from The Boys. There's DC comic book cards. Future, you know, there's some coming up, and there's some from back in the day. Marvel, I mean, unfortunately, the Evil Empire got the Marvel license, but you can go back and look at some Marvel cards from, you know, the 1990s all the way up to, say, 2024, and you'd be happy with anything you got. I mean, there's just a lot of different stuff. Sons of Anarchy, I see people post a lot of those cards. The Walking Dead, I mean, I'm surprised they don't have a West Wing card set.
Yeah,
I'm collecting Rick and Morty. Like I have a binder full of Rick and Morty cards. There's just so much. If you like something, chances are, if you name 5 things that you like different IPs, movies, TV shows, whatever, I bet you there is a card product for one of those things.
I bet there's probably a product for 4 of them. Like if you have an interest, like you think about what, like back in the 90s, at one point, if you want to go down a rabbit hole at some point, go on TCDB and go on their non-sports list and just look at by year. Like in the 90s, they made like a Security and Exchange Commission card set, I believe. There's just so much out there.
They made war cards. They made Desert Storm and Desert Shield cards. Forgot multiple sets.
I have a Tobacco's card from the 1800s, like the late 1800s, that has it's a little card with a uniform of a military uniform, a person dressed up in a military uniform on it. There are cards from back then with dogs on them. There are cards that I have 3 Stooges cards that Mike was nice enough to buy at a card show and give to me. 3 Stooges, like I said, if you have 5 interests, I bet you there are at least there are probably 4 sets of cards out there for cards out there for 4 of them. So it's the amount that's available is amazing, and also like you can't go wrong with it.
Almost overwhelming. There's so much.
Yes,
almost overwhelming.
Overwhelming in a good way, though.
In a good way. In a very good way.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, the lower relative cost compared to sports cards. You know, you can find a lot of newer stuff, $100, maybe even $200 if you're feeling frisky, which sadly is cheaper nowadays, but there are high-end ridiculous stuff. Yes. So, but you can find a lot of products that don't cost you a lot of money. If you're looking back for older stuff, let me tell you, $100 bill can get you all kinds of cool stuff, probably multiple boxes of a lot of it. And you're not breaking the bank. Unfortunately, this hobby for sports, I like ripping packs. I like ripping football cards, but if I have to pay $500 for a box of Topps Chrome now, I'd really rather spend $100 or $200 on a non-sports set and get that, because you could buy 5 boxes for what you could get one. It's just the difference in price overall relatively to sports is just ridiculously out of line, but take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure. So I collect Star Trek cards, obviously, $100 a box, $150 a box max, and you're able to pull, Patrick Stewart autographs, William Shatner autographs, the Rick and Morty I just talked about. I think they were $100 a box. Sketch cards, you can pull sketch cards out of those. I mean, they're really, really cool. You can pull autos as well. I mean, the cost of entry is so much cheaper than it is for sports cards. And I will say, and I'm saying that May. Oh, this is like a week and a half from now. Pull back the curtain. But I'm saying this in
late May.
May
What are
of
you talking
20.
about?
Yeah, right. We're live. May of 2025. I will say this is the case now. Fanatics is taking over a lot of the non-sports IP. Makes me a little nervous about prices, but you can still go back in time, like Mike was mentioning, and you can find so much good stuff. Skybox DC Master Series you can get for less than $100. I mean, there are a lot of really cool products out there. So your cost of entry is so much lower, and it makes you you can go out and get more things. You can stretch that $100, $200, $300 across multiple different things, where with $300 you're lucky to buy a box of Donruss. I mean, let's be honest. So yeah, cost of entry is such a key here.
Yeah, look at some of the prices of even mega boxes now. Like I think some of them are like $100 for like some of the higher end things. Like it's really expensive, and for that amount of money, I buy a box of like Impel Disney cards that I think they were like maybe $50, somewhere around there. It's like 6 in my mind. And so like you get 2 boxes of that, like a box of that and a box of something else. So you probably don't need 2 boxes of the Disney product, but there are so many options out there that you can look at. And the amount of cards you get from a box of Optic, obviously you're not going to have a chance of getting a one-of-one, Black Finite, whatever out of some of these other boxes. But I feel like you
don't really have a chance to get out of those either.
You don't. You're right.
Math.
Right. You talk about the cost to the fun ratio. Like there's a lot of stuff out there. I bought just this past year the Infinity Trilogy stuff from Upper Deck, which was really, really cool cards, really, really fun art. I pulled a one-of-one printing plate out of that. I paid $85, I think, or $89 a box for 3 boxes of it. And you just you can't find deals like that. They don't even like put like sports cards on sale for that amount, that amount of a deal in a lot of cases. So I feel like there's just the price is so much better in a non-sports stuff right now.
And non-sports buyers are kind of spoiled a little bit. We opened up a lot of Fleer Ultra Wolverine on the channel. And how many comments, Mike, did we get where it was like, man, $200 a box, that's so expensive. I'm like, whoa, you have no idea what expensive really is.
Well, the thing is, though, also, if you think about it, like I don't open a ton of this, but I opened up the Halo stuff, and I was surprised. The Halo stuff really sold for a lot of money. Like I'm talking about numbered cards numbered to 562, where if that was a card in a football product, basketball product, baseball product, that's selling for $1 or $2, or I'm selling for $8 or $10, for the non-sports stuff. And it's because the collectors actually want these cards. They're willing to pay for these cards. So I think that as far as like building sets, so I feel like they're also retain their value if you are also using some of those cards to fund the rest of your purchases.
All right. The number 3 reason you should be buying non-sports, Spider-Man, he ain't going to be tearing his ACL. Okay, this is kind of the Charizard can't tear his ACL thing. But yes, there is some truth into this. The comic book characters, especially, they're going to be there. Those franchises are going to be there. They're not going to have something that happens to them that makes them disappear. Yes, maybe some of the actors from movies and whatnot could maybe get into a little bit of trouble. But if you're an actor in Star Wars and you do something, you get kicked off there, Star Wars keeps going. That's not going to end. So there is less risk, I think, from a financial perspective, and to put money into non-sports cards. You're putting it in usually for a different reason to begin with, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, there is some truth into that ridiculous statement that Spider-Man can't tear his ACL. If he does, it'll be healed in no time. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, comic book characters are killed off on the regular and they come back like 6 months later.
Even if Superman, they die, they're not done.
As Superman, right? That was our reading time back in the early 90s, Mike. Death of Superman and The Return. Like it's a silly trope that non-sports people use, and it sounds silly, but it's 100% true because those IPs do endure. And they will for a very, very long time. Spider-Man's been a character since the 60s. We're using Spider-Man as the example here, but you could pretty much point to anything. I would be remiss if I didn't say actors. I collect a lot of actor autographs. Something bad could happen with them. Then it gets a little risky. But like you did say, Mike, when you have Star Wars, that actor will just be gone. But then Star Wars cards, it's not like those values are going to take a hit from that one person. So it's a trope, and it's kind of cheesy to say, but it really is true that those Spider-Man cards, it doesn't matter who drew the card, it doesn't matter what comic book they died in and came back in or whatever. People are going to remember Spider-Man. They're going to remember Batman, Superman, all those non-sports things. They're going to remember those IPs for a long time after. And it makes it a little bit safer if you're really concerned about the value, if that's what drives you.
Yeah, I feel like even characters like, Luke Skywalker and Captain Kirk, like even if something were to come out now, they are such iconic characters from then. Like I feel like even them, excuse me, there might be something there, like a little bit of taking a hit, but it's not going to be as bad, I don't think. I had another thought, but I left my brain.
But the flip side of that too, EP, is like Justin Herbert, right? Someone collect. Boy, I've been giving him some praise. But Justin Herbert, you put all this money into one player, and literally something happens to them on the field. Look at Wemby cards this past year. How many people had money in Wemby cards if something happened to him? So it's risky.
I'm not trying to compare Justin Herbert to this person in any way whatsoever.
Oh, God.
But as the owner of 2 graded Wander Franco cards, I can tell you that you don't want to invest in people. You want to invest in Charizard, not people.
All right. Number 4 on the list is the feeling of nostalgia that non-sports cards can give you. I'm not saying you don't get that from sports, but I feel like there's even more of a connection with non-sports cards, especially as you start to get a little bit older. You think back to, what movie did I like? Like, what movie did I take my first date to go see? A lot of cool things like that. And you can go back and collect older stuff. Sometimes they have newer sets still made up. Sometimes people collect things that they started collecting as a kid. They still make it and have made it all the way through. It's like really cool. I'm actually finishing a set of the 2024 Upper Deck Goonies set. My very first date as a 16-year-old after I got my license, my girlfriend, she wasn't my girlfriend, but I took her on a date. We went to see the Goonies. That's a memorable part of my life. It's just been one of my favorite movies. They had another set that they released on e-Pack, and I was like, I wanted to have that. And now I'm starting to look back at the older set, and I think I'm going to buy a set because they're really expensive to buy boxes. That one doesn't fall into the cheaper, although relatively it's not $1,000, it's like 400. Right. So I could if I wanted to. So I just you start to realize as you get older and you see some of the sets and you go, I really loved that when I was a kid. Star Wars for a lot of us, the Goonies for me, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I have 2 boxes over here that I haven't gotten around to ripping, but I love those movies. Like, I'm so excited when I do open those. I'm going to have such a fun time. So, the nostalgia factor with non-sports, I think, is like bigger than any other part in the hobby. And that nostalgia, it carries beyond just cards. I mean, going back and getting toys from back in the day that we had. I posted on Twitter. It's behind me right now. The shuttlecraft, from Galoob,
You remember Galoob?
I do.
Like a shuttlecraft from the Enterprise. And but that ties into the non-sports thing too. Like when people think nostalgia, they don't think, some people do, and we're big sports fans. Don't get us wrong, obviously. I mean, we collect a lot of sports cards and we have for a long time. There aren't as many moments that stick in my mind as like the Steelers losing the AFC Championship because Barry Foster dropped that ball, right? Like that sticks in my mind, sure. But I'm not like, oh, I need to go collect cards from that. Like for me, it was collecting Star Trek toys, watching the Star Trek show, and then the Next Generation, and then buying Star Trek cards in your shop, Mike, for a couple of years, and then digging through those as I was going through all my old stuff. And I found the thing that kind of led me on this journey is I found the binder, the original binder I mailed in from Impel, from the Next Generation set. Like I got my grandmother to mail in proof of purchase to send to Impel, and I got a binder back, a 3-ring binder for the set. I still have that original one. So like that type of and I'm like, wait a minute, do they still make binders? And then here and now I have this binder collection, like that nostalgia of my grandmother sending in for that binder. So yeah, I feel like there's just more nostalgia with non-sports than there is with sports. And again, that's not for everyone. I understand that some people's greatest memories came from watching a sporting event with their dad or something like that, going to a football game. But for me, and for I think a lot of non-sports collector, it's the nostalgia of sitting and watching Saturday morning cartoons, right? And watching X-Men or whatever. And it's like, oh, the X-Men, let's buy some X-Men cards. Let's buy some Fleer Ultra Wolverine.
Well, I mean, I think that you hit on a really good point there, Joe. Like the sports stuff, yes, we have great memories of the sports, and we like Ken Griffey Jr.'s Sweet Swing, and everything from all of that. But we don't go back and rewatch baseball games from 1998.
That's a good point.
Where we go back and rewatch the original Star Wars movie again for the 100th time or whatever it was. Plus, they're also making new Star Wars movies, a new Star Wars series, and new Star Wars toys. And so you're I don't want to say inundated because it's a negative connotation, but it's still in our view. We're still witnessing it. We're still playing Halo. We're still watching. We're even watching Three Stooges reruns. And a couple years ago they came out with a new Three Stooges movie. And so like I feel like those things persist where yes, baseball persists. But the things that we connect to, the Ken Griffey Juniors and the Barry Fosters, like you said, Joe, like we don't those don't persist.
They happen in the moment. They have
right,
you're focused, super focused in the moment on those things. But that's a really good point. Like I've never went back and rewatched the 1994 AFC Championship game. But I'll tell you what, I have rewatched Star Trek 6 about 12 times this year already. So,
all right. The fifth and final reason, and this one is the best one for me, it's just fun. Collecting non-sports cards is fun. Come here. I'm going to tell you something. I guarantee you, if there's something you like, buy a box of the cards and open them up and tell me how you feel when you get done. You get back to me. Go do that now. And then tell me in the comments, how do you feel? Pause the video, go buy a box of non-sports, and then open it up. And then tell me how you feel in the comments, because you're going to have fun. There is such a big difference, especially if you collect sports cards. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you need to do this instead of, but like expand your horizons a little bit. I guarantee you, though, if you find something you like and open the box, regardless of whether you pull a big hit or not, you're still going to have fun doing that. And ask yourself, if I opened a football box and got totally skunked, do I feel like I had fun? A lot of people don't. There's a feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you open a box of football or something and you get nothing out of it. You're like, why did I do that? Oh, God. I don't think I've ever opened a box of non-sports and said, oh, why did I do that? Mm-hmm. It's fun. I think about, oh, well, maybe I didn't get my value back, but I had a lot of fun with this. Look at these cool cards I got. I wonder if I have a set. Wonder how many cards I need for a set. It's just a different experience than collecting sports cards. Again, we're not telling you do this, don't do other things you like, but give this a shot. Find something you like. Go on eBay or Dave and Adams or somewhere and find a box of something and open it up if you haven't before and see how you feel, because I guarantee you're going to have a smile on your face and be like, you know what, that was fun.
100%. And I will say, you know, I used this phrase before when we were talking about Jeff Wilson a couple of weeks ago. Like, it's not zero sum. Like, you can like both. It's okay if you want to open up sports cards and then you want to open up non-sports cards. They're just different. But they can both exist at the same time. I mean, you two more than me. I mean, I am almost 100% non-sports cards at this point, and I've had so much more fun doing that. You guys are more hybrids, right? You collect both, you know, pretty, you know, not aggressively, but you collect both probably pretty equally at this point. So like, it's not zero sum. You can collect whatever you want, but non-sports to this point, you don't feel gross after it. You feel so much happier because, like, I used this example before. If you open up a box of Prism and your big hit is like the third round defensive back that the Packers took, how happy are you going to be? Are you going to be like going through, let me read what Panini has written about this player? No, right? Non-sports, you're going through, you're opening up, you're like, oh, I don't remember this character. And you read the back, the little, you know, a lot of times they have a little write-up or they have like a power level of this character, or they have a synopsis of the scene or the movie or whatever. It's more engaging beyond the financial side of it. And the best example of this, I guess tied for the best examples of this, you, Mike, opening up Platinum, and Ed over at Silver Sport, our friends over at Silver Sport, he also has been opening up some non-sports every now and again. He opened up Platinum as well. He opened up, you opened up Marvel Masterpieces Platinum. He opened up Platinum, the regular Platinum, and he opened up Marvel Masterpieces Platinum, and he opened up some Star Wars cards. So and you can tell when you watch those videos how much more he enjoys it than he did ripping football. And he's ripped football for 5 years on that channel. And that's, you know, but the joy that you could hear in his voice and in your voice when you were opening those up too is so wildly different than when you open up a box of football cards or basketball or baseball and get skunked. I mean, it's just the happiness meter is just off the charts.
Yeah, and the happiness meter also, again, is affected by the cost. And like you said, like you think about opening up $100 mega box of Optic or whatever, right? Optic football. Optic is very similar to Finest, so I should love it, and I do like that. It's probably my favorite of the Panini products. But I don't want to build a set of it. I think I can't think of very many ultra modern cars I want to build a set of that aren't non-sports. The thing with non-sports, excuse me, and Joe said this so many episodes ago, years ago, he said this. He said, man, I think it was Joe. Every time when you open up a box or a pack of non-sports stuff, every card feels like an insert. Like especially like the Marvel stuff, the comic stuff. It all looks cool. It all feels like an insert. Where the base of sports cards aren't as exciting. So if you open up that Optic Mega and you don't get a rookie card, or you don't get a good silver, or you don't get a good, you know, even one of the like the relatively high end inserts, like you're not gonna. There's no reason to be excited. Where when you're opening up a lot of non-sports, even the base cards are making you excited, and that's where I think a lot of it is. Where I think the fun level is there. So I think we've been talking a lot about opening up boxes of the non-sports stuff because it is less expensive, and because we have fun opening packs. But even finding the older non-sports in single cards, you can find a lot of those for good prices. Well, like you don't want to go and try to get graded 1990 Marvel stuff, right, Joe? Because that stuff's outrageously priced.
Especially because the set registry is still a thing.
Yeah. So, but the raw cards are inexpensive. You can find them and get them really for really good price. So it's
even the expensive cards, though, relatively are still inexpensive. Like autograph cards, like of famous actors, you can get for way less than you can for a football player who hasn't even touched the field yet. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. involved in that aspect as well. But that's a good point about singles. We talk mostly about opening up packs, and I will say if you go back and watch my Star Trek Movies in Motion, it's a lenticular set. I apologize after opening up the first pack to the viewers and said, this video might take a little while because these cards are so freaking awesome. And I was turning each and every one of them because they were so cool. I mean, you're not doing that with Optic. You're not doing that with Select, right?
No, you're not. All right. Well, there you have it. There are 5 reasons you should be buying non-sport. Have you bought any non-sports lately? Did you rip a box? Let us know in the comments. We like to talk to people. You know, we're not scary. We're not like the Jeff Wilsons of the world that just ignore everything you say in the comments. We read everything. Except for him. DP doesn't
I was
read
going to
any
say
of them.
67%.
But Joe and I do. If you talk to us, we talk back. But let us know what you're ripping, what you're buying. If you don't, what would you like to get? Let us know that too.
Oh yeah,
We
what
care.
idea is not out there that you really
Yeah.
want to see? Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. That's all we got for you this week. We'll be back next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
See ya.